Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. If you like the content, hit the subscribe button, leave a like down below. We gotta talk about this year's WWE 2024 draft. Yes, they said that line about 100 times in the last two shows. Let's go over to the list of the draftees and let's discuss. So here's the roster of Monday Night Raw, excluding the champions, because the champions were not eligible to be drafted. We're just going to go through here and go through all the wrestlers that are now officially on Raw. So Damian Priest, I don't think he's going to be champion for very long. It depends on how many t-shirts he sells, like what he does going forward. But right now, I feel like he's just a placeholder champion. And that's not a knock on him or anything. It's just he was in that tag team / faction hell for the last year. He really needs to shine. His best moment was against Bunny, the rapper dude or whatever, the singer guy. And that was his best match. That match was amazing. So if we can get back to that level, then he is definitely a championship level person. Women's World Champion, Becky Lynch. I like Becky Lynch, but you have so many women on that roster that you could have elevated with that title. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they're going to have Liv Morgan beat her for it, and then Rhea Ripley will come back and beat her for it. But in the meantime, I don't know. I feel like someone else should have won it. I like Becky, but she's been champion plenty of times. She doesn't really need it. I feel like she's one of those wrestlers that doesn't need a belt. She's reached that level. She doesn't need a belt anymore to be relevant. Anyway. Then we got the World Tag Team Champions, Awesome Truth. I love that the tag team division is back. I'm very happy. I hope they make a bunch of new tag teams. If you notice, they moved a lot of big factions back and forth between the shows, maybe to compete for these championships, because, let's face it, the tag team division has been dead for like the last 2 years. Alright, Jey Uso, Seth frickin' Rollins, Braun Breaker. Pretty cool to see him on Monday Night Raw. Liv Morgan, Ricochet, Sheamus, Alpha Academy, Kiana James, Shayna Baszler, Zoe Stark, Alba Fire and Isla Dawn, Ivar, Imperium, Damage Control. That was kind of shocking to me because they've been on the other show for so long. But that was actually, it's a very good move because I felt like they've done everything they can on the women's roster for SmackDown. There's a whole slew of new people they haven't wrestled or feuded with on Monday Night Raw. So that's cool. And we need 2 sets of women's tag belts, or we need like an Intercontinental / US title level belt, I think, in my opinion. And then Braun Strowman. It was so cool seeing him come back. In the modern era, he's one of my favorite wrestlers. He's the big guy. This whole thing with Roman Reigns where, I'm not finished with you. My buddy and I used to joke about that all the time. It was pretty funny. So I'm super happy he's back. Hopefully he gets another solo title run. I feel like he'd be the man to beat Damian Priest. In fact, they should put him in the Judgment Day to replace Dom. I think that'd be awesome. Then we got the LWO, Drew McIntyre, the Judgment Day, Dragunov, The New Day, Lyra Valkyria. I thought it was Valkyrie, and then you read it and like, oh yeah, Valkyria. Okay, when Bubba said her name, I'm like, did he say it wrong? I'm like, no, oh no, I'm an idiot. Okay. The Final Testament. I feel like that's a good move because the feud with him and Bobby Lashley, or Bobby Lashley's group, just wasn't. I don't know. I don't even know the name of their group. The Testament. I don't know the name Bobby's group because I'm so uninvested in that feud. I felt like it was stupid. Anyway, so I'm glad they're on a new show. Fresh, clean slate. Let's see what they do on Monday Night Raw. Plus, a lot of these big factions getting moved to Raw was good because they have way more time on Raw to do stuff with these factions rather than on SmackDown where they have a 2-hour window. I feel like SmackDown's going to be this nice little booked show within the 2 hours, perfectly booked. Monday Night Raw with the 3 hours, plenty of time to book all these huge factions and stuff. That's probably another reason why the LWO got put on Monday Night Raw. All right, then we got Big Bronson Reed, Natalia, I believe Natalya was on NXT. She needs another title run. I feel like she's been gypped pretty big time. Kane Carter and Katana Chance, Odyssey Jones, D-Jack, the Creed Brothers, and Ivy Nile, New Catch Republic. So there are your Raw draft picks. Now let's go over to SmackDown. And if obviously champions again couldn't be drafted, which makes sense. We got the undisputed WWE champion, Cody Rhodes. Now I'm super happy that he won at WrestleMania, but what's next? He hasn't really given that message to the people yet. What are you doing next? You won the belt, now what? Is that it? You got to give us the next thing, man. That's part of the storytelling. That's part of his whole gimmick. It's like the underdog guy that won the big one, now what? If I was Cody, I'd be like, I want to beat everybody in the entire company. I want to defend my title against everybody. And then every time he has a title defense, it's like, can he beat this person? Can he beat this person? Can he beat this person? Just to give the fans something, right? Because otherwise, like, what are we doing here? The AJ Styles thing's been built up terribly. I mean, their promos weren't that great. I like AJ Styles. He's one of the best to ever do it. I mean, and he wrestled his old man. Too bad they couldn't get the footage from TNA. That would have been a really cool build-up for their match. And that Backlash, I feel like this is a SummerSlam level match with AJ Styles. So it is what it is. And we got your women's champion, Bayley. United States champion, Logan Paul. Your WWE Tag Team Champions, A-Town Down Under. And we got Bianca Belair, Carmelo Hayes, Randy Orton, Nia Jax. It was weird seeing Nia Jax go to SmackDown, but I feel like, again, she's pretty much done or lost to everybody. Literally, with losing to Liv Morgan, she's lost to everybody on Raw. Maybe she can start getting some wins. Maybe she'll join Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill and make a super faction. Unstoppable. That'd be awesome. LA Knight. I feel like LA Knight definitely should have went to Raw to try to go for that belt. I feel like he would have fit in Raw perfectly over there. They got too much star power on SmackDown. I feel like LA Knight should have went over to Raw and go for the belt eventually and win the belt, right? Because he's no spring chicken. The Bloodline, Snore. I mean, until Roman comes back, it's cool what they're doing. But until Roman comes back, I feel like they're just gonna kind of milk this thing until the big payoff of whenever The Rock and Roman come back. AJ Styles, Andrade, the OC, Baron Corbin is back on a main show. That poor guy. I'm surprised they haven't just like fired him yet. He must show something. I don't know what they're gonna do with him. Maybe he's gonna be a jobber on SmackDown, which sucks because he is a great wrestler. He's just, I don't know, man. I don't know what they're going to do with him. Cedric Alexander and Ashante The Adonis. Jade Cargill, Kevin Owens, The Pride, Tiffany Stratton, Legado del Fantasma, Shinsuke Nakamura. I feel like that was a good pick for SmackDown because he feels like he was just in limbo over there on Raw. Maybe they'll actually do something with him. But then we've already seen him face Cody. Is he going to face Cody again for the championship match? Nobody wants to see that. I'm sorry, nobody wants. They wasted it as a stepping stone to get to WrestleMania. I feel like they should have saved it for a title match if Cody was going to win. So I feel like they wasted that. So if he goes anywhere near Cody, I just feel like we're going through the motions, which really sucks because Shinsuke Nakamura is freaking awesome. Naomi, Chelsea Green, and Piper Niven, Pretty Deadly, Candice LeRae and Indy Hartwell, DIY, Blair Davenport. It was really cool to see her on a main roster now because she's been over in NXT for a long time. Apollo Crews. I did not see that one. Now, Apollo Crews is the man I'm thinking of. Yeah, Apollo Crews is the guy that gave me my first clothesline, or one of my first clotheslines when I was training to become a wrestler, way over there in Atlanta. I mean, the guy's built like a tank, and it's so cool to see how far he came, man. I mean, he made it. He freaking made it. Anyway, Giovanni Vinci and Tegan Knox. So, I don't know. I feel like they could have built up NXT to be like a third major brand. This was the time to do it, but they decided not to. Instead, they decided to keep it as like, this is the college level, right? This is like the junior leagues, and then the big leagues are SmackDown and Raw. They had an opportunity here to turn NXT into a third major brand, but they didn't. Like, the draft is the time to where you make big changes in the company, in my opinion. I feel like if they took everybody from every brand and just mixed them all together, that would have been awesome. Because then we could see matchups we've never seen, the NXT group, and then, I mean, I get it. It's the developmental brand, but you had an opportunity to make NXT a SmackDown or a Raw. Anyway, that's just one man's thoughts. How do you feel about this year's draft? I kind of feel like some of you guys said in the comments in my poll I posted, it should have just been an email or a YouTube video, like a YouTube thing they did on YouTube, or like a separate thing on Peacock where you can watch it for free. It's on there, and here's the draft, blah, blah, blah. I mean, they used their main show's time slots to do this, and I don't know. I just felt like since everybody stayed mostly on the same show, it seemed kind of pointless. Anyway, sound off the comments below. Thank you for watching, and stay frosty.
Delicious!